Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all we listeners them, wherever we're in the world. This is Mohamed Shilon coming to you now from the United States of America. As you know, from Sunday to Sunday about this time, we are starting a little bit late today again because we had moved the time earlier when because of Ramadan and the changes in time between the various countries and where they listen to. We decided say we'll move on to 4 o'clock. So we've been starting at 4, but today we're starting an hour late. But hopefully we'll catch up on and we'll hope everything will be interesting, and we'll catch up on things that we want for address what we were not able to address the last time. Now today na Sunday, April 13th, 2025. So we're all welcome for listening to it. Now, also, let me just remind the listeners then for say, the lines are usually open once the program begins, once all the introductions are made in terms of information and co-hosting and all of that. And once the issues have started being spoken or talked about, then anyone is at liberty for call and make a statement, call, ask questions, or call, make suggestions. Now, I also want to remind people, and because a lot of times people have the best of intentions, but I think they can forget with basic rules. When if you call, be sure so you have no more than 3 minutes. So try for consolidate what you say, put them in the proper preference, so you get all your issues in and address before the 3 minutes run out. As we all know, one of our regular listeners, when the 3 minutes run out, a buzzer will come on. It's automatic. That will remind you, say your time is up. After that buzzer, then you only get 15 seconds, which is very short. The buzzer will come up again for say, well, we're about to cut you off. As a matter of courtesy, would encourage you again once more for wrap up. And we also like people in to say, if what you talk about is lengthy and you know address them adequately and you get more for say, we did say, okay, that's fine. Just gracefully wrap up what you did say and go back and call in again. So you go there at the end of the line, forgive people and before you opportunity for call and make them comments. So we'll not get people in for hold on for a long, long time. So we greatly appreciate that. The record has been very splendid or wonderful in the sense that people have been complying with that holding or staying on the line rule. We'll get, that you then go compress all what you can get for say for 3 minutes and be able to address what you can get for say. But if you're not finished, just call back. That's the simplest way. Now, today on the show is going to be me and Mr. Jallo Jamboria, who's going to be coming to you people from Norway. And so I'll go pass them over to him very soon. But let me just go over the basic information that we can always go through. This is not the VOS network. And there are certain numbers we want to call if you want to reach we, or if you want to listen to we, or do anything pertaining to this program as well as other VOS programs. Okay, North America, the number for call will not cost you anything now, 1-866-944-7722. 1-866-944-7722. If you call from the United Kingdom, England, in particular, just call +44 2080891455. +44 2080891455. If you call from Australia, now +1 343 997 5828. +1 343 997 5828. That is, I'm sorry about that. Australia is +61 2909 844 337. Australia is +61 2909 84337. It is WhatsApp number 9+1 343 997 5828. The WhatsApp number where you can call we from anywhere in the world. Now +1 343 997 5828. All right. The Australian number is +61 20 2909 84337. +61 2909 84337. Now, all the other areas then we're not going able for reach with. The various television broadcasting platforms them. We'll get different platforms. So you can go on YouTube, you go able to get we on VOS television. You can go on Facebook, you can able to reach we on VOS television. You can go on X, formerly Twitter, on a VOS television. You go able to reach we. Then you can go on a VOStelevision.com if you want to catch we on your computer or that kind of thing, or iPad, VOStelevision.com. Then we also get radio stations. If you go to VOSradio.com, you can able to reach me. Or if you now go there, you can go to 91. If you go to the Apple App Store or you go to the Google Play Store, you download the VOS Television mobile app. You will able to get to a radio station. If you're in the Western area, in Freetown, in Sierra Leone, but the Freetown in particular, you will able to reach you in a 91.9 FM. 91.9 FM. So if you dial 91.9 abroad, you may not be able to reach VOS television network or VOS radio unless you go to the Apple Play Store, at the Apple App Store, and the Google Play Store, and download the the VOS app. Then you'll be able to get we on 91.9. Okay? And we also have other areas then where you were able to get we besides the radio station. You can go na the Twitch TV, when a VOS television, you for be able to get we. In addition to that, we get a diaspora helping hands non-profit organization, primarily for helping young kids who are in school, who not get a financial backing or ability for continuing schooling. So VOS is helping to raise funds so as to be able to give scholarships to a lot of these young people who may be qualified for continuing education. Okay, so these are some of the platforms, some of the numbers, and some of the things you might have to do to be able to reach VOS. So that said, let me pass on over to my co-host, Mr. Jamburia, and make you say hello to him. And then we'll go move. I will tell you now what are the topics for today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Fambulem, una good evening, una good afternoon, good day. And for those in Australia who may say good morning, I'm sure. Afuma minute mene na piari sekeno. Ameni goa kauyena. Today we can look at how we government they do. And I will begin see how responsible we have a government. But without which we will talk about that. Over to you, sir, Mr. Shillon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jamburia. Okay, today I just want to make una know, with listeners, we'll get a few topics. Normally we can look for act or talk about things with the trend, things with current, things with still to go on in the country. Like it started last month, but it's still to go on. And how the image way they create, how the country look, and what are they affect. So just yesterday we see that the State House happened for catch on fire, or fire catch the State House, whichever way you want for phrase them. And then we find out for say some offices, the State House suffer some serious damages them, and that some offices were actually burned completely. The offices are within the State House. among one some of the people in office they wouldn't claim say were affected. A gentleman by the name of Keke Thomas Sandi, as well as Dr. Yumkela, both of whom we understand say get offices at the State House. So today we will try to touch on how some of we who have been around a little bit just before independence and a long time after independence, what the State House be symbolized to we. And then we will talk about that. We will allow people in for calling. And then we will talk about how other issues them affecting the State House and why we not to say anything for being possible. Why, but we wonder whether the State House they get the attention we deserve, or whether the fire with the State House just happened at the State House, whether that fire day could have been prevented. So when some of we not be picking them, who they grow up, we know say the State House was both residential, meaning now be host, now the people in top, now the family, the head of state. Way back, now be the governor, or then they end up being governor general. Now be the governor, they be top. Now be in residence, the top level, now they not be in residence officially. Then the other levels where the president gets staff them, or the State House or the governor gets staff them. So, but after independence, we tend to shy away or drift away from having the head of state and staying at the State House, which, because every country then seem to get official residence, the way they go from government to government, from generation to generation, like England, then getting Downing Street residence for the Prime Minister. America will get a White House for the President. A lot of countries then get the regular place. So most countries got President not in two places. President they can walk now one office across town. Then President go home in the evening across town. In most countries, not so a day. And to we in Australia, not so it be day. All the things what we inherit from the white people, them, we know the say things are not before change. But when they change, we like for let them justify why the change was necessary. We know say Sir Albert Magai in the chap na in place na Laka when he become Prime Minister. We know say Sir Milton Magai they stop na another place where sometimes Mr. Jambura, I remember I go tell we. Then you get subsequent leaders them. We come. Pashaki in the host na Kiama Road for a while. Then there was this back and forth. One moment Kiama Road was official residence of the Prime Minister Stevens, who became President Stevens. Then another moment the Kiama Road residence was in private residence. Then he decided to build another place now. I think Laka we build some
Juba.
Juba, sorry. We build place as an official residence of for the president and for the presidency. But somehow again that wasn't given the acknowledgement, the recognition we need, so that it was just money wasted. So simple things that they want in there. If we still not even get a clearly defined residence for president, any president will come, it choose, it doesn't make your own decision. Whether they're for bear on a Lumley Beach, on a Levuma Beach, on a Pademba Road, on a Circular Road, on a Moyamba, where Sir Albert end up being buried, all in there, when they are alive as well as when they are dead. You see, all this, not to speak well of we, because all this fall into the issue of governance. The simple things then, forget a steady residence, official residence for we head of state. We still left to the discretion of whoever na the head of state. You know, because if we left an hour there, I guarantee you there will come a time when the president could just decide to say, well, I'm from Kenneth. So now Kenneth at the top, like from Kenneth I go rule, you know, in fact, I would want some embassies then for move to Kenneth because we don't get no clearly defined way we want for run the country then in there. Just to use Kenneth as an example. It could be anywhere, it could be Kailaun, it can be Kabbalah, it can be Pujon. So no, I don't want any inference to be drawn because I use, or any negative inference to be drawn because I use Kenema as an example. I just talk about the foreseeable. This is foreseeable. You can see that happening 20, 30, or 40 years from now. Someone will come and just decide for dramatize the whole thing and say, well, being a president, I get the power, I can do what I want. So why do I have to live in Freetown? What can I do in Freetown that I cannot do in Bo? I cannot do in McKinney. I cannot do in Pujon. You see? So this is what we talk about government, then change all matter. We get for government for coming and lay out things orderly. Order, man, we need them. Disorganization, chaos, confusion. I don't think we were meant to operate that way there. Because when we are organized, we get more productive. And when we're more productive, we all enjoy the benefits of productivity. But when we try for do things, every government will come, no rules, no, not like wrestling, what Nayana can call it the Texas death match. The rules are to be ignored. You end up with a disaster. So now we get the State House on fire. That's the last place for the thing off. Now, then we get to talk about whether the State House get a new fire force, which the State House should have, or one immediately next door. I do know that there is a fire force within 1.5 miles from the State House, if that far, because there is one on the other side of Parliament, and so, but I don't know whether the situation or the location of that fire force there has anything to do with the location of State House. So it's just coincidental that they are within such close proximity. And if they are that close, the question is, how long did it take them? If anybody knows, you're free to call for fire force. Well, number one, fire force become for put out the fire. Number two, how long did it take them to come? Number three, they may get the necessary amount of water for put out the fire. And so how did the fire start? If anybody knows, please feel free to call. How did the fire start? And we also know, say, the State House has not been modernized or updated or given modern day renovation for a long, long time. And let us not forget, say, Nicole's go even touch on that. The White House was built about 200 years ago or more. But the facility in the White House, not the 200 years backward. When you go to the White House, everything is modernized. In a building, when they built about 200 years. So if we, for respect, we own institutions then, now we for try for modernize or bring them thing up to par. If you begin elevators, will be the or lift, will be they take only 3 people. Now forget lift, will they take 15 people each or 20. If we beget if we not beget escalators, maybe the State House at this stage need 1 or 2 escalators for speed up movements, for both in terms of location to location within the building, but in the event of an emergency like fire, because when you build building, you have to think of that. If fire come, how if people in rush together for try for escape, when they not get any escape plan, that's how people die. because everybody they all go just go bottleneck or cramp up na the entrance because everybody want to go through the domot. Then what will happen? Nobody no go able to pass. We all go for them. Then we all become disabled. So there should be a coherent plan of action. You know. So when they talk about engineer, what they talk about governance, these are simple stuff, but they are necessary stuff. They are necessary. You know, the state house is symbolic of the government. And the government symbolize the way you come at the country. Just like if you go upline, you not see the chiefdom age, you not see the town age until they show you chief in house, chief in compound. If you go visit any side and pass you all over, you not see the chief in compound, then you not see the place yet. So if you go to any country, you not see outside the state house or the president in residence is, then you don't see that city age and you don't see the country. You know? So we for take them to serious. Now basic stuff them, but they are serious stuff. We cannot afford to ignore them here. Money we get for spend, this is not necessary expenditure. We get for get money for spend for upgrade. Then place there all the water tank. What they see in the state house. Then tank then they all the antiquated. They're not for even there. You know? Because number one, the looks of it is not even look good. Then number two, the efficiency of having water tanks of the type that we would see at the state house does show how we don't neglect the place for a long, long time. And the bad part about all this, sometimes you just wonder what problem to brothers and sisters them. All these guys are claiming they may be abroad. Now, I'm willing to give those who never came abroad to be educated. Because we get a lot of people that want to come overseas for college, but they are highly educated. But education, I had to talk about the classroom education. But education comes in all form. Exposure also matters. Because if you get, no matter what qualification you get, if you're not exposed, you don't see anything for compare what you get with, you can't tell that, you can't say you get the best. But let me stop there. Let me just talk to me. Let me turn over to my co-host, Mr. Jallo Jamboria. We'll go take him from there. Then we'll go give in your opinion, as to some of the general description of what you may think say a state house for B and what it not be up to now. Because some of we were lucky, we were born at the Western area. We knew, lucky in the sense that we grew up, we knew how it used to look and as the symbolism of it. Not the way we become an adult, not the way we finish high school, we know what's our state house day. So we always, I like Cape Lighthouse. If you come out Aberdeen, it means a lot to we. Cape Lighthouse now be a symbol of the importance of that place, of Aberdeen, to the rest of the country and the region. So now the same thing. When you grow up in the Western area, you see them here. So of course, we can see all the we will see all kind of thing. The vice president go visit the state house. Yeah, these are not, I mean, it may be newsworthy, but in the order of seriousness, when state house born, the vice president going to visit the state house, I don't know whether I go there out of curiosity or out of responsibility, but it's not a necessary thing he has to do. If the government is being run well, I mean, vice president, I mean, he can be easily brief by not even going there. But I'm not saying anything is wrong, but I don't want them to give you the impression that because the vice president, I mean, this is the president's own official place of operation. So I don't know if it is newsworthy that the vice president went there investigating, but it would seem to me the actual news should have been or will have been the police go there or the CID go there, they investigate, they question people them, And the fire department, we haven't seen anything about the fire department either, not the police and the fire department, the two most important agencies, the way for the report, well, not the report, instead they tell you the president, the vice president, go and get some kind of interrogation, but let me just say, they go visit, they ask questions them. So let me turn it over to my co-host, Mr. Jamboria. Mr. Jamboria, next to you, sir. I think you muted. You're
Sorry.
muted.
Yeah, I've unmuted myself now. Thank you very much, sir. I hope say fumble and they hear me loud and clear. Some of these things we have to stop looking at the events, now look at the cause of what's in the happen in Sierra Leone. God no hate Sierra Leone. Where everything was something bad they happen there. There are certain principles where Sierra Leone and then get for begin understand and observe. In this life, we have the image and likeness of God in us. See, they're not the Quran, they're not the Bible. The Quran tell we say where God take clay, make something, he put part of himself into it, breath into him. The Bible tell we say man is made in the image and likeness of God. What in that they tell we is that we get certain powers in we for control with destiny. We are as we think and we become as we think. If every day you get up, you dey think for Igbongo Soro, hala hala and ambara no they don't be any. If every day you get up, you dey think for do good, you happy, all the energies of good, they come around you. You see, there is no excuse about what is happening in Sierra Leone, except for the fact that those running the country, and when I say those running the country, I don't mean the political party. All the politicians in all the political parties, they don't mean good for Sierra Leone. They only mean good for themselves. And then they do any kind thing for get power and stay in power at all costs. The energies of evil is too much in Sierra Leone. I hope people can remember, sometime around the 25th of March, the balance cut in trio be left a born. Nobody not take and make something.
Yeah.
Now State House done born. We are playing with fire in Sierra Leone, but we think say, tough. Nature is warning us in Sierra Leone. Recklessness is unholy, is ungodly. Willfulness is unholy, is ungodly. For the whole country, the head of state in office for go on fire, it speaks a lot about the kind of people that they run with country. Either they are ignorant, miseducated, or stupid, or willful. But let us don't blame it on any other thing, because we are and we become as we think. For a whole country, forget an institution, they not get basic, look at this. I have 4 of this in my house. Basic things like this. I get fire alarms all over the place. I get cameras all over the place. And if anything happen, within seconds, you go see fire force and police come because it's connected to a central system. Is Sierra Leone so poor not to be able to afford this kind of systems? If you ask me, I go say no, because then they are not cost nothing. Now, recklessness, ignorance, and misdirection are a problem in Sierra Leone. And this is not only about the government in power, it's about all the people in politics in Sierra Leone. Because whether you're there in governance or not, there are certain things about the state that you should be asking questions about, especially so those in parliament. Do we have an efficient fire force? No. Do we have enough water supply for the fire force? No. Has this ever been raised in parliament? No. Why? Because they're all reckless idiots. That fire force where they locate in Tower Hill, not by accident. It was located there by design. Because the old parliament, where now they don't broke, then go build Chinese building and call a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now they even there in Tower Hill, before the Israeli then can build out a parliament close by. State House been there down the road, a few meters. It was located back of the old parliament by design so that in case of fire, the fire force will effectively come for put out the fire. This building where they burn, so I don't think fire force reach there before 1 hour. And you not go blame them. Why you not go blame them? They not get the equipment and even the water for use. They may have to have gone somewhere to get it before coming. If we want to see Sierra Leone good for every Sierra Leonean, let us stop looking at the events these idiots create. Now we ask the pertinent question. Why are these things not functioning? Why? Who is responsible? Because as far as me know, State House supposed to get an estate officer where for they make sure say everything within the building, they function well and there is maximum safety.
Yep.
Secondly, the Ministry of Works then get an estate and assets department. And as far as I know, the structural organization of Sierra Leone government service not change. Every ministry get 3 departments. And in the Ministry of Works, there was a department were connected with taking care of government assets, all government buildings, including the quarters they all been there all over the country. Now that department they been they take care of them, now them be they furnish them, now them be they make sure say everything they work fine, paint them. Look at State House. From the picture of State House, you go see say in the last decade, you know, see paint, let alone repairs. You see, if people think they are educated and behave recklessly like this, then they should be asking themselves, are they really educated? Because one thing education they do for somebody, it make like you refine your character, refine your mode of behavior. It's not about having a PhD to go and sit in a big office. It's about getting the correct mental infrastructure and focus. That's education, therefore. And education is not limited to formal school. That man a village where sabi make blind. Now education they get for make blind. But those people in Sierra Leone that we call intellectuals, they have nothing to write home about. They are a disgrace to that country. And I am not afraid to say it. Honestly. Now we all prepared and die left Salone Giwi. They are a disgrace. When something like this happen, they take in 2 left foot, they go there, for go inspect. Inspect what? Are you a safety officer? Who stay go learn safety environment and management? You see, we they make fun of the country, and it has to stop. People have to take that place seriously. If we cannot recognize the nationality of the place called Sierra Leone, because people have this belief, oh, I am patriotic. That's the biggest lie we tell ourselves. Yes, we are patriotic, but not to Sierra Leone. We are patriotic to our region, our tribe, our clubs, our fraternities, but not to Sierra Leone. Because that national image of a place called Sierra Leone exists only with a few people. The majority don't know Sierra Leone. They know a place to misuse and abuse. The second thing is, if we get to run a country, let we run them as a country. Let it not be run on personalities. We get institutions, we get systems. Let us allow the institutions and systems to run. If you have a fire force, you cannot equip it. But when fire happens, you want to go and inspect a building, then you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. The question is, are they providing the necessary support for us to have an efficient fire force? Does State House have fire extinguishers like this? If they had it, why didn't they use it? Over to you, sir.
Yeah, okay. For elaborate on that, these are some of the things we would talk. And shame on we, the one that we don't say we come abroad, we know better. And the people in back home, the ordinary people, those who have never been to school, the people where they drag from hand to mouth, they get and get for you know, we did disappoint them greatly, and shame on us. We the one then we don't live abroad, we don't see better things, we for take ideas, go back home. Not for just reach for the money and put blanket over the people in the island and not see what you would do with that. You see, this is some of the things, like Mr. Jambori just talked about neglect. That you can look at the State House from a distance and tell maybe that building did not see paint in years. Okay, neglect. And Mr. Jambori also indicates, say, they were, in the old days, there were departments responsible for taking care of all anything they did. And like you say, this thing we show on our TV, this fire extinguishers. You just ask the questions. I will rarely go ask them questions here, only for the future if it not exists now. Were there any fire extinguishers anywhere in the building of the State House? Anywhere? And what locations were they? Were they, if there were fire extinguishers, the State House had several floors. Okay, and you get several wings. So how were these fire extinguishers distributed? This is all governance. This is how you run government. Okay, so then if we just say State House, then we would put all Tom, Dick, and Harry they say to work in a State House, but no particular effort is being made to upkeep the place. These are the things where they happen. Do we have anything what you call Office of Emergency Preparedness? When you get emergency like fire at the building, then don't we all wonder how fire they start na offices na the State House? We not say it's impossible, but it's good for really just know the origin, the background, the start of that fire, how had happened. Was it arson? Somebody just take upon themselves for who set fire? Was it electrical malfunctioning? It could be, Was it a situation where somebody probably go put pot in a fire in one area in the State House for cook? Because the reason I got to get an example, it reminds me of a video I saw, although I think it's just an illustration, where this Mami can visit in Pekin, America, and put you in this wonderful house. You know, you get all them modern cooking utensils and this and that and everything. When the person go walk, what happened? The Mami taking in three spoon, taking wood, taking firestone, and we put them together down somewhere at the parlor on the tile and begin for cooking at the parlor with him fire. Because you don't know how to use the cooking utilities then we again at the house because she was just visiting. So, but I have seen that where certain people, they do certain things that some of them place and they like for hang clothes. Also, like state has a place for wash clothes and hang and a rope. Enough for be. Okay? State has not a place woman for the beach rest, no matter what do, na any floor or na the compound. Enough for be. But me does see with me or yeah, state house people in the cell cookery na the yard, na the compound. Maybe as I speak right now. So these are all, you see, this they bring that the dignity of the place. The first time me see people in the cell cookery na state here and state house grounds, I just couldn't believe me. Yeah, I say, what? A friend of mine said to me, please, 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 I don't want you can get heart attack now. I say, what you had to see so it's really happening. He say, yes, and I could create in this also. You mean to this day we not try for get a situation where the state house will get a canteen or a cafeteria or a restaurant where employees them at lunchtime then go come, then sit down and eat. If then cookery people and they get for sale, they don't have to sell on the grounds. There should be a facility established in-house facility where people for come, buy food, stand in line, go sit down and eat. Not to cookery, makichuan and for can set and cookery at the compound at the grass area. Okay? So for some reason we'll continue for neglect, because Mr. Jambura has used the word neglect, not only the painting, even the practices, even the significance of what in the place mean, you know? And like you say, that fire force where they close to State House was strategically built in relation to the State House, which is commonly used to be known, it's not commonly known, but the actual name for the State House, now Fort Thornton. That was the official name. Okay, it's a fort. And if you don't go there, it's a very impressive building. When you go inside there, even though it's old, you get a wonderful view of the entire city of Freetown, you know, and it's very impressive. Even when you're at the yard, at the compound, you know, at the garden. So, but there's a thing called upkeeping. You gotta go upkeep them. Or not could just take the place so they run and down. You know what? If that watchman or if Sir Maurice Dorman, the last white governor way then in Sierra Leone, if in Pekin will be to grow up in a Freetown, come Freetown today, you see the State House compared to how they used for the day, you know, like Pasha Kikin say, today, I'd rather start to be a comedian for a brief time. Today, my mouth is full. So, Maurice Dorman and Pekin go come and go say, today my mouth is full. Because you not go believe what you hear the see. Say, are the places I used for live? What is this? These Africans haven't taken care of. Is this what they think of themselves? You know, I come at this country, they were small, when I come, they expect this place to look like a mansion. You know? So, we not seem for care about we own. So what would the point finger at the white man? The white man get all logical reason, and at the same white man, but we say colonial masters. The white man get all logical reasons for say, okay, we were so terrible, but what you want to do for ourselves? The thing they want to regard as bad, as misleading, as oppressive, how have you all improved any of them? Haven't things gotten even worse? You know? So there are a lot of things about waiting with the talk, but so State House, we not say State House of a born on fire, but It never be that easy. And now so some of we are not impressed. When you begin to write, tell say the vice president can inspect. Well, in fact, I think the word inspect self is the wrong thing. Wrong word. What you can inspect? You know, to fire inspector. You not get any kind of training on emergency preparedness, let alone taking care of. So when they say the vice president can inspect, I don't know whether that's or just maybe out of curiosity. He was curious like anybody else, but going at the vice president, he was more privy to the building. He was able to come there in close proximity and look at. Maybe that happened. Maybe the news people and just say he can't inspect, but I don't see what he would have been there inspecting, because he's not trained in fire inspection or emergency matters, you know. But it's disappointing that with something like this, we don't see presence of the police, we don't see presence of the fire force, we don't see or presence of people from fire station. These are the kind of things that you want to see. You know, not a hotel we say the vice president can inspect, you know, and I think then say the traffic convey. In fact, it's even more discouraging when you then say the traffic, which in conveying a response team. Is now the time for that? You know? Anyway, let me take a call. The lines are open, callers and listeners, so the lines are open, but let me take a call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from?
Hello, Mr. Salone and Mr. Jallo Jamboya. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. Okay, Mr. Abdul. Thanks for calling. Good evening.
I just want to make a contribution to.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Sierra Leone, the problems are so enormous that sometimes you wonder which kind elements they make some leaders there with. Some of them they travel and they can't see waiting they happen at the other parts of the world, but they meant waiting and they can't see. Even though some of them don't live in this part of the world, but when they go as if they eyes them, they covered with plank when they're not able to see waiting and they do. The problem when we get in Sierra Leone, all sectors, that the maintenance culture na lack. Anything in a government. This now just an example of how negligent the government be. Anything in a government, maintenance culture we not get, this country not get them. And for our information, if the same yesterday, I think day before yesterday, a fire incident been at the hospital in McKinney, where
I saw that.